Okay, so back to the watermarks here. Let me move this over. Remember, we just changed it to your name. Okay, so you can do all kinds of different things like that. If you don't like the watermark, just remove it. Okay, so that's the design tab. Okay. Page layout. This is just going to be totally the layout of your page. Okay, here's you can come in and change your margins. Okay, these are some settings they have. But if you don't like those, you want to do custom margins, you can click on that and do that here. Orientation, do you want to have portrait or landscape? Maybe you're making a sign, you want to have it be landscape, change it there. Change the size depending on what you're doing. Not everything we do in life is on letter size paper, 8.5 by 11. Okay. Don't freeze up on me now. Columns. You can enter in columns in Word. So this is a pretty nice feature. Okay. I recommend clicking on here and then doing it this way. So if you want to enter in like a 3 column page, okay, you can do that here. Set up equal column width if you want. Okay, it gives you lots of different options. Column 1, how wide it will be, the spacing, okay, 1/2 inch between each column. So lots of things like that. What else do we have? Indentation again, the spacing. Okay. Excuse my phone. Alright, so that's page layout. References. If you want to insert a table of contents, you can do that here. So, like it says, text using a heading style will be included automatically. Okay. And so what that means is that if you're writing this sort of as like a term paper or like a thesis or something, as you change, your text is going to have a heading. And so as you do that and as you write, it actually updates in the table of contents for you automatically. So if you add in more information, if you take something out, it's going to update the table of contents for you automatically, which is very nice. Just come and click on update table. Footnotes, you need to do footnotes, that's here. Citations and bibliography is here. Okay. Insert a citation. You could click on that. Add a new source. Click on add a new source and then it's going to give you this, which is such a nice feature. Okay. You put in what type of source it was. Maybe it's a website. So now it changes the information. Okay, it's in here it's giving us APA because we have APA up here. But if you need to change it to MLA or anything like that, you can do that here. Okay, Chicago. So these are the different versions that it gives you. And then once you do your insert citation, okay, let's change this to MLA. Insert citation, add a new source, leaves us a website. Okay, tells you all the information you need to complete in here in order to have it in your citation. So very cool. Bibliography. If you want to insert a caption, maybe you put in like a figure in your document. You want to insert a caption to write what the thing is. Then that's very nice to have there too. Okay. Mailings tab. Probably not going to use this one too much. If you do office work, you might have to use this sometimes. Okay. You could come in here and create labels. Maybe. When you click on this, usually it's going to pull up a box right like this, and it's going to let you fill out what kind of label you're using. You'll put in the information here. Maybe you're just printing out a bunch of addresses. You'll put that in there. Okay. We'll cancel that. It doesn't seem to be enjoying itself right now, does it? Envelopes, the same way. This is really neat. Okay. Click on options. This is where you're going to come in and choose your envelope size. Okay. You have to make sure that you have a printer that can print on envelopes. So something I always need to clarify here is you're not like creating your own envelope. All you're doing is setting it up to print on an envelope. And in order to do that, you have to actually have an envelope as well as a printer that can print envelopes. Okay. So that's what this function does. But it's really nice. And so you'll put the delivery address here. Okay. and then you put the return address here, okay, and then you could do all kinds of things. This is showing you how to feed the envelope into your printer, okay, which way to do that, so pretty nice. No. Okay, so it just printed a bunch of nonsense. This would have been my envelope here. See? And here would have been my return address. Here would be my mailing address. So it's pretty nice and fancy. Okay, review tab. So now let's say you've written your whole document. What do you want to do? This is where you come to check everything out, proof it, okay? Make changes. You can protect your document here. So in this case, if you want to double check the spelling and grammar, you run this and it will go through it for you. If you are looking up a definition of a word, do that there. You're tired of using the same word, like I say awesome way too much. So maybe I could come in here and click on thesaurus and see what it suggests, for other words to use. Word count. You're going to find word count all over the place in Word. Okay. You could see it right down here. Currently I have 0 words. Okay. I can also click here. It's going to tell me I have 1 page and 0 everything else. Translate. Translate text into a different language. So this is cool if you're going to do it maybe for like a couple sentences. I don't recommend you type out your entire Spanish paper in English and then use the translate section to then translate into Spanish. It doesn't do the best job. Okay. You do the best job. You are smarter than this machine. So just a nice little trick that it has. Comments. Remember we talked about comments. So we could do that there. Okay. Get rid of those. Track changes. Say that you are working on a group project or you've sent this document to someone for them to sort of proofread for you, give you maybe comments, give you notes. Okay. You can click on track changes and this is going to show you if they've made any changes. And if they have, it's going to highlight them and then you can either accept their changes or reject all their changes. That's up to you. Okay. If you want to restrict editing, click on that. And what this is going to do is, only allow editing in certain portion of the document. Okay. And then what else do we have? That's about it for the review tab. Then the view tab is just how you look at the document. So by default, usually you're set on print layout. Okay, right here, this shows you what your document is going to look like once it's printed out. So here's where you're going to come and check that all your words made it on there, that your headers are there, your footers are there, that your page numbers are there, that everything is there, how it looks, is it laid out correctly, is it, does it look good, basically. So that's where you check that out. Read mode sort of is like a book. Okay, if you look down here, this is also letting you change the way in which you're looking at your document. Read mode, print layout. Web layout shows you how your document will look if it was to be viewed through a web browser. Alright, that's all the web layout is. Okay, what else? You can turn on your ruler here if you like your ruler to be on. You can turn on grid lines if you need that. Maybe you run out of graphing paper, so you can just print some up. Pretty nice. Navigation pane gives you your heading, pages, and results. So that's when you're doing like a great, when you're doing a big document, you might want that. And then you can turn these off. If you want to zoom in and out, that's there. New windows, macros. Okay. Macros are a different subject for another day, but they can make your life easier and they can make other people's lives harder. Macros can sometimes contain links to viruses and things like that. So we just don't really use macros too much in this 101 course. Okay. So, and finally, the last thing, let's come over here to File, take a look here. Okay. Here's where you can actually protect your document. So you can encrypt it with a password, which is nice. Maybe you want to keep a journal on, you don't want to write, you want to type. You can do that on Word. You can protect it, keep it with password, only you can access it. Check your document for issues, see if there's any other versions of the document. This is going to give you the properties. Okay, the size isn't going to pop up until you've actually saved it. So once I saved it as something, then the size of the document will be there. How many pages? Here's another word count. How long you've been working on it. So we've been talking for like 32 minutes, just about. The title, you can add tags, you can add comment. It'll tell you when it last had a change. This is again all once you've actually typed something and saved it. Created this today at 2:42. Last printed, never, because I've never printed this blank page. And then the author. So there you are. It's going to automatically stick you in there because you're logged in. And then you can add an author, okay, if you want to. And then all the other stuff is here. If you want to open another new document, if you want to open a document that you have on your machine or in OneDrive or wherever, you can do that here. Save as, okay. I love save as, right? Save. Print. Here's you could come and print. If you're worried about page setup, you click on that. It's going to show you the margins, the orientation. Everything's going to be here for that. Go away. Thank you. Share. Maybe you want to share your document. You can invite people to see it from your OneDrive location. You can post to a blog. You can email from here. This works really good, of course, if you are using Outlook, which is all hooked into this stuff. So as you can see for me, there's no email program associated to perform the requested action. Okay. So, okay, Word, we understand. Thank you for sharing that with us. So different things you can do. Export, create as a PDF, but you can also save as a PDF, so you don't just have to use that. And finally, close. It'll give you the options of what you want to do here with your document. And so that's our introduction to Word. So let's come back to the PowerPoint that I did have for you, so I can get so I can show you your assignment. Okay, so help, we forgot help. Help is just that little question mark. You can search on here for online help. Oops. You could search on here for online help, and I'm sure you're probably not the first person to have had whatever question you may have, so it's great. That's a good thing because someone else has probably answered the question. So go ahead and do that. Okay. So your assignment for this lab will be to create a new Word document. Basically, write a summary of what you learned today through our little lecture. Okay. And then I want you to use what you learned today and then submit it to me via Dropbox. Okay. So I don't want you to write like this 3-page, 11-point font, black and white, boring text document. I don't want that. Okay? I want it to just be a 1-page thing. Put in some sort of pictures or use some different colors of fonts and use different fonts. Underline, use some shapes like put in an arrow or whatever. Just do whatever you want to do to make it your own document. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to tell me what you learned if you can actually show me instead. Okay, so you can, if you want, write a summary and use what you learned today, or just do something cool and show me that you can use these different features in Word, and that'll work just as well for me. Okay, so submit it via Dropbox under the Lab 2 Intro to Word, and that'll be it. Thanks.